Hello, me again. Right, today, not today, I think it might have been yesterday, or the day before. But anyway, I had an email from a mum, and her daughter has an eating disorder. And she was asking me if I could elaborate on she hears people talking about the eating disorder voice. And I thought that was a pretty good question, actually. She wants to know, she wants to help her daughter as much as possible. And she wants to know, what does this sound like? She was asking, is this the same sort of voice as in people who have maybe schizophrenia here, or which is, or actual voices like talking to type voice, or what's it feel like? So I can only answer this really from my own perspective as to what that was. And I think that what might be really helpful and kind of cool, though, is if any of you guys have any input on this, then write it in the comments to this video so that people can maybe, say what this feels like or sounds like to them. Okay, so for me, it was never really like a voice sounding like someone else's voice saying, don't eat that, or that's too high calorie, or you're fat, or it was never, I guess, what you would say a literate voice would sound like. For me, it was a feeling. It was just a feeling of, I don't want to eat that, a feeling of, I feel fat, a feeling of, that's too many calories in it, or thought process of that's too many calories of it. So for me, it was never just a straightforward voice, like do this, do that, you're horrible, this, that, and the other, which I've been told that is what's true of, say, some other sorts of mental or some forms of mental illness. People will actually specifically hear a voice like it's talking to them. For me, that was absolutely not the case. It wasn't even like I could pinpoint these specific words or anything like that. It was all about a feeling. It was all about a feeling of, I can't eat that. A feeling of, I'm massively resistant to eating that. And for me, the exercise piece was really strong. And it was never a straight out voice of, you have to go running. No, it was just this feeling, like every cell in my body was feeling, you have to go running. It was much more like that. And for some, when I think about it like that, or talk about it like that, and say, I think that if it had been a straightforward, just a voice, that would have been so much easier. Because first of all, if there was a voice in my head telling me explicitly what to do, like you have to go running, I would have just been like, fuck you, because I don't do whatever people tell me to do. So in a sense, if it had been that explicit, it had been that clear cut, I think I would have really not had a particularly difficult time disobeying it. But it never was that. It was just always this feeling that was coming from me, a feeling coming from my cells. I have to get up and go running, and I feel like I'm going to crawl out of my skin if I don't do that. It was that kind of feeling. It was the same with the aversion to food, the aversion to eating. If it had been a straightforward voice saying, you are not allowed to eat that burger, oh, hell yeah, I would have eaten that burger probably. But it wasn't that. It was a feeling of complete resistance and fuck no, am I going near that? So I think that if you are somebody who is looking after or caring for a person with an eating disorder, just think about, say, something that you are really terrified of. Maybe it's snakes. I saw a snake the other day. I'm actually not that scared of snakes, but I've got to admit, when one shoots across the path and it's really big, I'm in Colorado, we don't have big, so we get bull snakes, they're harmless. It kind of sends a shiver. I'm not scared of snakes, but I wouldn't necessarily go and willingly jump into a pit of them. Same with spiders, I have to admit. I'm not like terrified, phobic of spiders or anything, but I would just rather that they weren't there. But just imagine something that you're scared of. Maybe the thought of jumping out of a plane, maybe heights just give you that fuck no, hell no feeling. That feeling there of hell no, that's not a voice, is it? It's not a voice saying, I am scared of that. I'm not going to go near that. You are not allowed to go to. It's not a voice, is it? It's just a feeling of resistance. So I think that's a better way for you to understand how strong that feeling is and how it feels like you don't question it. If you're scared of heights and you go up somewhere that's really high and you look over and you want to run away, you don't question it. You just feel, I have to get away from this. And so it's that kind of thing. It's more of just a feeling, and my legs are already moving and I'm already away from it before I've even had a chance to question it, type thing. Dear Mum, who wrote in to me, I hope that answers your question. I'd love to hear from other people who either have had or have an active eating disorder right now, to also let you know what it feels like for them. So if you're listening and that's you, then yeah, in the comments to this video, let's help some people out. Let's help some people understand. How does it feel like to you?